Hi friends, Prepared Suburbanite here. Today is August 31st, 2021, the day that the United States war in Afghanistan, I guess, is officially over. But considering all the events in Afghanistan over the last couple of months or so, the question that begs to be asked is, did any of it make any sense at all? Stick around. I've got some thoughts. Well, it appears that we did close Bagram Air Base sometime in July and probably just handed all of it over to the Taliban in August sometime. The dates are kind of squishy. I've gotten a number of different dates out there, but the fact is that the United States didn't control the Bagram Air Base from at least the 5th of July up until today, or even yesterday. Does it make any sense to have closed that air base? Did it make any sense in leaving over $80 billion worth of military hardware behind us, and so that the Taliban could take it and use it against us, their mortal enemy? They are a terrorist organization, and they're now very, very well equipped with everything under the sun needed to fight a war. Did it make any sense to leave stranded an untold number, at least hundreds, if not more, of our U.S. citizens and our friendlies, the allies, folks that worked with us, folks that fought shoulder to shoulder with us over the last 20 years in Afghanistan? Did it make any sense to leave them behind? I was watching Dan Bongino's podcast just the other day, and he asked a question at the beginning of his podcast. Says, why aren't we seeing any resignations in the administration or in the military personnel? There was constant threats of resignations and quitting and all that kind of stuff. Anytime Trump said something, sent out a mean tweet, made a decision on this policy or that policy or this treaty or that treaty, there was always a consistent and constant barrage of threats to resign. I haven't seen a single one. And Dan Bongino asked, why aren't we seeing those kinds of resignations? It's just not happening. I have the answer. And the answer is that the left doesn't think it made any errors or did anything wrong, so there's nothing to resign about. And it's as simple as that. You see, the Biden ran on a platform of being a centrist, a moderate, looking to unify, bring the country together, all that kind of stuff. But his strings were being pulled by the far left contingents in the U.S. government and in the U.S. Congress. He is so far left now that he can't even answer a question without making sure that whatever answer he's going to give has been approved by his handlers. So he doesn't. He just turns and walks away. And it's because altogether the left doesn't think it did anything wrong, nothing to apologize for, nothing to threaten resignations about, and that's the simple truth. I used to do Facebook a few years ago, but I walked away from that. My wife still has an account, and she'll share some things with me from time to time that she sees posted on her Facebook page, and she does maintain whatever they call them, friendship statuses or whatever, with family members and friends and folks that she worked with and in the past and all that. And quite a number of them are either very, very liberal or are fully involved in left-wing baloney, I guess. And some of the things that I've seen on her feed are just absolutely incredible. There are cheerleaders for the Biden administration because Biden ended the United States' longest war. He campaigned to do that, and he followed through and kept that promise. So they're all cheerleading now for what's just happened, and they're going to try to spin it into one of the most wonderful policy things as the platform for Joe Biden's second 4-year term, because he pulled us out of this very expensive, longest war we've ever been in, and he should be a hero. The same kind of feed posts that come out of that same group make my head shake. It really is quite awesome. They're positing now that anybody that's right-leaning, a conservative or a Republican, that we're all hypocrites. That there were 64 troops killed in Afghanistan during Trump's administration, and there was silence from the right. No condemnation at all. But let 13 American servicemen get killed under Biden's watch. Oh, it's the end of the world. What a bunch of hypocrites. If you believe that, I suggest you just log off this particular video on YouTube right now, because you're not going to want to hear what's coming next. You see, all of us conservatives, anybody that really is a patriot, that may belong to the Republican Party, that may have voted for Donald Trump in the last election, see, we're all too busy eating Ivermectin, which I guess is used in the animal husbandry as a dewormer for horses and cattle and even dogs. And that's the absolute truth, that ivermectin is a component in those kinds of deworming medicines, but those are formulated for dogs. But according to the left, we're so busy consuming ivermectin that we can't really give any rational thought to what's really going on in Afghanistan right now. Well, believe me, that's about the most insane BS I've ever heard. And it just goes on and it goes on and it goes on, and they forward each other's and share each other's posts on this kind of stuff. There's a constant barrage of sharing videos coming from Biden's official President of the United States Facebook page. There's a constant barrage of stuff that's been posted on MSNBC that gets just kind of slammed in your face about how, you know, all the smelly Walmart wife beaters. That's us, because we're basically subhuman in their mind. The moral clarity that they've got is just absolutely unimpeachable. And it really makes me stop and think about the division that's gone on in this country. I haven't seen conservative websites or conservative podcasters. I haven't really seen anything that would equate itself to the level of diatribe nonsense against the left than what's going on the left versus the right. And it's they accuse us of being subhuman. Well, the irony drips. Because this is a prepper type website, I get criticized often for sharing my political views, sharing the political news that I see, because it affects us as preppers. Right now, we're faced with a whole new set of threats against us. Untold thousands of Afghan refugees that are fleeing the country, that have already fled the country, are here now, and they're being distributed around the United States. The last thing I heard was that none of the states have any say about who gets who or when it happens or anything. They just ship them wherever the federal government wants to ship them. And they're actually thinking about shipping them to swing states, which I think is kind of an interesting political tactic, but we'll see how it all turns out. Are these folks being properly vetted? I'm not convinced they are. I've seen too many reports of falsified credentials, of paperwork that's illegitimate, that's just been created out of thin air, that was used as a basis to get some of these Afghani citizens out of Afghanistan during the last couple of weeks or so. And they're here now. They've already landed. And I don't know what the vetting process is. I hope it's pretty robust, but I'm not 100% convinced that we're not going to see increased levels of threat from terrorist cells that are going to be forming, that have already formed here in the United States. I suspect it's going to be a couple, 3 months, maybe 6 months before we start seeing that kind of activity, and that only gives us a small window of opportunity to be prepared for what's really coming. Issues regarding your homestead security and your personal safety need to be addressed, and it needs to be part of your updated prepping plan as we look at it today. 5 to 10 years ago, we were prepping for lots of different reasons. But now I think there's really some specificity coming, and that we truly need to be ready to be involved as patriots, defending our homes, defending our families, defending ourselves with every tool that's available to us. This is the Prepared Suburbanite. God bless you all. I'll see you all on the next video, and be prepared always.